Welcome to the battlefield, my warriors. This is DarcsenOfLegend, and as you can see, there's a gameplay of Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 in the background. I am on the right, and my friend Scott is on the left. And I am by no means a good player at this game, but yeah, so you'll get to see me play that. I'm here right now with my impressions on PlayStation 4's portion of E3 2013. I'm not trying to be biased or anything, but I didn't want to sit through about 12 hours of conferences on the first day when all I wanted to see was the PS4. I'm not a fanboy, but I have been with PlayStation almost my entire life, and I thought it would be a waste to spend money on more than one system that shares most of its games, at least with the PS3 and the Xbox 360. Not sure if that's the same case with the next gens coming up. But I did watch both of the reveals for Xbox One and PS4, and I'm sorry to say this, but the Xbox One really does sound like crap this time. Sorry, Xboxers. Anyway, so Sony started off their portion of E3 with an exciting and visually and audibly impressive gameplay montage. Of course, a good start doesn't always promise a good product or a finish, but I am impressed with Sony's overall presentation. The reason I'm so impressed is because of how deliberate the presentation actually was. Not just at E3, but also at the PlayStation 4's reveal conference in February. And also how well Sony delivered on their promises of a more user-friendly and user-oriented system. In February's conference, a satisfying amount of tech demos and games were actually showcased near the end of the meeting, but the focus was obviously on the first half of the presentation, when they revealed, explained, and even demonstrated the technology that was used to build a PS4. I don't understand the specs myself, and for those of you that are curious as to what they are, I'll have a link for you in the description to Sony's official site. They list the specs and explain what they do and all that kind of stuff. I'm not good with technology, so I'm leaving it to you guys. But yeah, But they do claim that they are commonly used in high-powered PCs and will therefore make it easier for developers to create games for the PS4, as well as provide next-generation graphics and capabilities. And after a few demonstrations and testimonies from various developers as to the care and inquiry used by Sony for this project, I believe them. Even if I'm ignorant when it comes to things like this, even if I don't understand the minutes, I can understand a demonstration. Both Sony and Microsoft centered their focus of their reveal conference on what their systems were all about and the new features for each system. Sony's focus was on the gamer rather than the living room, in their words, and Microsoft's was TV. Something I can do on just about any other system, or the TV, you know. I'm not trying to bag on Xbox too much, but focusing your attention on something that should be secondary on a game console, let alone something that is going extinct thanks to Netflix, there we go, and others, is a bad call in my opinion. Though it does support things like Netflix as well, you know. But in that case, I don't really know why they would make that focus. Don't even get me started on the mandatory online and the system and game registration. That stuff's horrible. Oh my goodness. I mean, yeah, I'm not going to turn this into a Microsoft bag video, sorry guys, but oh man, it just makes me so sad. Anyway, I hope Microsoft makes a comeback, but for now, the Xbox One is a gamer's worst nightmare. I have heard that they're doing a redo, like they're reworking the system and their principles, so to speak, for the system. It's centered, I guess, around the whole game registration and the always being online kind of thing. I'm not really sure what they're changing or if that change will actually work, but even if it does work, the initial build, I guess, the initial notion that they even thought it was a good idea doesn't sit well with me, and kind of makes me wary as to whether this fix is really going to fix what needs to be fixed. And also, like I said, I'm not going to make this an Xbox bag video, so I won't go into details, but at the E3 conference, they were really self-righteous about their initial decision with the system, that they had the attitude that gamers had it wrong and that they had it right and that everyone should just suck it up and stop complaining. And there was even a comment that the spokesperson made that really just teared it for me. But yeah, so I kind of have trust issues with them now, and even if they do fix it, just the initial attitude they had towards their fans just didn't sit well with me. Anyway, back to the PS4. Both games showcased games at the reveal. Oh, and sorry, I won't be talking about the reveal the whole time. Sorry, I'm just trying to get both the reveal and the E3 conference in the same video because I want to do one for the reveal as well. But anyway, so however, Microsoft showed a few games which were mostly unimpressive early stage footage, while Sony showed a diverse and satisfying group of games that were well crafted. I said before that games took a back burner during reveals, because I think they do, sorry, not during reveals, during the reveals. Those reveals were centered around what the gaming systems were about rather than the games. But, yeah, so even though they took a back burner, kinda, Microsoft was too impatient, in my opinion. Take my advice, quality over quantity. If the games will be good, which they very well may be, then you should wait until they're actually presentable. Microsoft kind of jumped the gun trying to, keep up with Sony as far as the game demos, and I think that it worked against them. If they had came out and said, "Hey guys, we don't have the games ready to show you, but we'll be able to show them at E3. We'll have them ready." I think that probably would have sit well more with fans, instead of like showing them polygonal and like empty planes of just like lines of figures or whatever, outlines, stuff like that, because that's kind of what they showed. But anyway, okay, now back to the E3 conference. Now, I'd really like to talk about the games that they showcased, but I have a lot to say in this video, so I'll make a separate video just for the newly revealed games, which will be annotated above once I actually record and upload it. I do want to try to keep this video as short as possible. Sony's tactical approach also extends from the reveal into E3, I think. Since the reveal focused on their hardware, their E3 conference focused on games, and revealing the system design and price, and reinforcing some of the core features that were made, keeping gamers as a community and the gamer as an individual in mind. I'd like to compare the PS4's E3 conference with Xbox One's, but I didn't watch both of them like I did for the reveal. I mean, the reveal kind of did it for me, like I said, shut Xbox out of my mind completely. Although I did see a few clips from Xbox One's presentation, and they were not good. So, anyway, since I'm setting aside games for another video, let's talk about the design and price. I'll be straightforward here. The PS4 looks like this. At first I didn't like it very much, but after getting a better, closer look at it, I actually think that it looks pretty nice, pretty sleek, and pretty cool looking. Either way, in the end, all I really care about is the size and efficiency more than anything. And as you can see, the PS4 looks pretty slim, and it definitely works well. As for the price, I'm sure you've already heard by now, but just in case you haven't, it's $400 US. To put it in perspective, that's $200 less than the PS3's debut, and $100 less than the Xbox One is going for. And since they're reworking the system, I have no idea if they're reworking the price too, but at least in the reveal it was, like, what, $500 I think? So, yeah. Anyway. It's to be expected from a console 7 years in the making, I'd say. But to be quite honest, considering how great it looks and how gamer-oriented it is, talking about the PS4 this time, I am very pleased with the modest pricing. Just because I expect it doesn't mean I can't be grateful. Yet another sign that Sony really does care about the gaming community, in my opinion. So what about the core features? Well, the PlayStation 4 has been made to connect friends and gaming community at large through newer, fun, and easy-to-use social networking, such as multitasking, live chat, even while in a different game, spectating another person's game, and even taking control of their game. Now, the last part, first, might as well say it's all optional before I move into that. So, but anyway, like all the features, the social networking feature, they're optional. You don't have to have that happen. But anyway, so yeah, you can choose which features you want and don't want. The last one worried me a bit, but I think about it this way. Worried someone will screw up your game by hijacking it or whatever. You can choose, like if someone wants to take over your gameplay, you have to give them permission. So even though I'm not really sure how that would be useful, other than like someone saying, "Oh, the game's too hard. I want to get further," and they just let their friend do it, I don't really see any value in it other than that. And in my opinion, it's not even that valuable, because if you want to beat a game, you're not going to get the same satisfaction out of it if you let someone else beat it for you. So, I have no idea how that option would even be useful, but oh well. As long as I can choose the option not to do it, I'm fine. I don't care. Your PSN account will also be personalized to your interests. What that means is, like, recent games you've played or downloaded, or like your favorite game genre or developer, they'll kind of put little ads or whatever on your PSN or whatever pertaining to that, trying to pique your interest for the kind of things that you usually like to play or like to download or whatever. They'll try to show you newer games in that kind of field so that you might actually find what you're interested in faster, so you're not like just cycling through all the stuff that you're not interested in, While downloading games, the system downloads a certain portion of the game so you can actually immediately start playing your game, which is pretty cool. I mean, I don't personally need that. I'm a pretty patient guy, and in the PS3 I've always been fine with waiting the few hours, I guess, depending on how big the game is, to download and start playing it. But seeing as how it downloads a certain amount in the beginning, and then you can play the game as the rest downloads, so you're not, you're playing with the data that you need, and then the rest of it's just being downloaded as you progress. I think that's a pretty cool thing. They also said something about the system being able to be shut off mid-game, like, just randomly shut off the system while you're playing game, and then be able to turn the system back on and start off wherever you left off, just exactly where you left off. I'm not exactly sure what they meant by that. It seems, I'll just assume that it's as it seems, and that would be pretty cool if it is, but I'm not sure if it has any limitations, and I'm not sure if it has any requirements, like, say, I'm not sure if the PS4 has the whole sleep mode thing like before. It probably does, but I'm not sure if it doesn't only works if you have it in sleep mode, where the system's like off but it's still on, kind of, or if you can still do it even if you shut off the system completely, like, like you turn it off completely or you unplug it or something, plug it back in. Not sure. We'll see. Either way, I don't really think I'll need to use that feature very much, because I usually don't shut off my system once I'm playing a game. I'll usually save it and turn it off before I, Anyway. Most of the features I already mentioned were kind of only mentioned in the reveal in February, but, whatever. I thought they were important enough to mention, and also, even though they didn't actually directly talk about them at E3, they did demonstrate a few of them again, so that's why I wanted to talk about them. As for the features also mentioned at E3, they said that PlayStation Plus subscribers will have their membership carry over into the PS4. I'm personally not a PS4, not PS4, PlayStation Plus subscriber, so I'm not too worried about that. But I'm guessing that a lot of people are, so they'll probably be happy to hear that. And I'm sure at the same time, like, your normal PlayStation Network account's gonna get carried over as well. Why wouldn't it be? And if PlayStation Plus is being carried over, I'm sure the normal stuff will be too. Sony's also working on actually integrating the PS4 with cloud technology, as they called it. It was supposed to be, it's supposed to start operating on the PS4 in 2014, starting with the US. It's called, it's through Gaikai. I believe Gaikai is the developer, I'm not sure though, but you know, that's what they call it. They called it cloud technology with Gaikai, and it basically allows the PlayStation 4 to play PS3 games. And I'm guessing that they're gonna carry over the whole PS1, PS2 classics thing, so you can probably play those on the PS4 as well. This feature really excites me because I'm glad that they're finally starting to get systems that are able to play all the previous games, because, you know, I don't have a PS1 anymore. I don't really even have many of my PS1 games besides the ones that I were able to find on the PS Store. But I do have a PS2, and it would be great to be able to play my PS2 games on my next-gen system without having to repurchase them. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. Sony also reassured gamers that the PS4 will fully support used games, and will not require an online subscription, and will not require system or game registration, unlike the Xbox One, which has decided to embrace those choices. Again, they're reworking it. I'm not really sure how much of that's going to be changed or how effective it's going to be, but we'll see. But that's the initial choices that they made, and I guess that was the point that they were trying to make. I mean, on one side, it was important to make the announcements because it would reassure gamers that PlayStation wasn't going to do the same thing, the same horrible choices, but also it's obvious that they were trying to take a stab at Microsoft because of how badly they screwed up. So yeah, I mean, I'm not too worried about whether people take jabs at other people or not, but it's still important to know where you're going with your system. So I'm glad that they made these announcements. One drawback is that the online support for PS4 will now cost $50 a year. Again, it's not mandatory, so that's good, and it equates to less than $5 a month, which I don't think is too overbearing, although I'm not trying to defend the PS4 on this point. I really do think that online play should be free. I'm not happy with that choice, but it's, like I said, I think it's small because it's not mandatory. If I don't feel like I want to have online mode, if there's not any games that I really want to worry about playing online, then I don't have to worry about it. If I do, it's less than $5 a month. So I at least for me personally, I think I can afford it. And I think most people could too, although I can't speak for them, so I don't know. Alright, and I guess finally, neither Sony or the PS4 are perfect. I didn't mean to make it seem like it was perfect in my eyes or anything like that. It's just that all of the things that they talked about and demonstrated are good to me. You know, they talked about what the system was about, they talked about the features and the design, and they talked about the games, and they showcased all of them. And I mean, they just work so well. So I can't give a final judgment on the system until I actually get my hands on it, until it's actually released. But they definitely sold me on it by showing me how it works and that it works well. So yeah, it's not perfect, but it's got my vote. The PS4 is definitely going to be my next gen console of my choice, and hopefully I will get it shortly after it is released. I did pre-order it for $100. I'm sure I'll be able to get it then. I'm just not sure when it's coming out. I don't know if they actually gave a release date yet. They said holiday of this year, but they didn't give an actual release date. As to my knowledge, at least. I don't know. But yeah, so it'll be coming out somewhere around Christmas time, I'm sure, and I will be getting it. And I just want to ask, do you agree or disagree with my thoughts? I mean, post in the comments. Also, which console do you think won the reveal at the E3 conference so far? Or not even so far, it's already done. Sorry. What you liked or didn't like about them? What you thought they could do better, or which one you think you'll be getting? Thanks for watching this video, guys. Thanks for listening to me talk again, and I will see you next time.
Foot side! Foot side!
Air combo! Danger! Air combo! Showtime! In your face!
Farewell! Face me!
Air combo!
Foot side!
Level 2!
Upon a race!
Beautiful!
Now it's my turn!
Air combo!
I'm gonna put an end to that! Foot side!
Foot down!
Up and fire! I'll finish you! Go! Up and fire!
Level 3!
Up and fire! Go! Loading grenade! Up and fire!
Yes!
Formation! Take it! Too easy! Link established!
KO! Player 1 wins!
Mission accomplished.